Welcome to Daily Tax Minute. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on how to save taxes and stay out of tax trouble. Today's topic is durable power of attorney. And of course, we're talking about as it relates to taxes. We typically hear about durable power of attorney outside of taxes much more frequently, but obviously we're focused on taxes. So all I want to do today is just give two examples. I mentioned in yesterday's podcast where there's a difference between a typical tax power of attorney, like the form 2848 that the IRS uses, or similar forms that each state uses, and that between that and a durable power of attorney. The point is that regular tax power of attorney canceled out, becomes void, expires at the point where the person either dies or becomes incompetent. And a reasonable person holding a power of attorney, if they're not sure if their client's alive or not sure that they're competent, would probably have some serious questions and want to get outside advice. And we talked about that as well 1 or 2 days ago. So I want to just give two examples of cases that came to mind where was an issue. So in one case, I was working with a business owner, a local business owner, who had multiple years tax issues and significant, probably internal fraud by his bookkeeper in a local business. And anyway, I was in the middle of doing that when he had a stroke. And I had power of attorney, tax power of attorney, but he had a stroke, and that tax power of attorney became null and void. The local court appointed a custodian on a temporary basis. Now, there were other issues involved. I'm skipping those. So appointed a temporary custodian who I then worked under that attorney for a short period of time, the court-appointed person. And then more quickly than I would have suspected, that custodianship was revoked by the court, and I was back dealing with the client, who at this point couldn't speak. I think some months later, I talked to him very briefly, could barely talk, and we talked mostly about just like quality of life issues. We didn't talk about taxes. But in any event, in that kind of case, had I taken a durable power of attorney for the specific tasks which I had contracted with him to complete, we would have had no trouble, and that would have been the smart way to do it. Of course, no one expects the person you're doing business with to have a stroke a month later. It's obviously that was the issue. Another situation, which I find surprisingly often, is when we're approaching a tax deadline. We've agreed to a set of financial statements. We've agreed to the tax returns. We're working through it. We're coming up to a deadline. I often have last-minute issues to resolve, contact a third party, a bank, whatever. And so we finally get to the point, and there we are at the 11th hour at a tax filing deadline, and I can't reach my client to get their approval to file a tax return. So legally, I can't meet my requirements, and that's going to trigger an additional late filing fee. And particularly in some instances, don't want to get off track, but in some instances, it used to be we could file a day or two late. It wasn't a big deal. Now I'm noticing even 1 day late is triggering some kind of penalties. So what I do now is take a limited durable power of attorney only for those specific issues and tasks which we've previously agreed to that I'm going to do before the tax filing deadline. That is, file your return that you've already agreed to. It's just that I didn't get your signature on the final version. So in those cases, having that durable power of attorney in advance really seems to help. So I hope that helps and doesn't confuse further. Would love to hear comments or questions on that issue about how durable power of attorney fits into the tax situation and can wind up saving money in the long run. I'm easy to reach on social media or contact me one-on-one at taxproblems.cpa. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Minute.